what I want to do right now, let's relook at that interview that we saw a little clip from earlier. It's Netanyahu doing his rounds, coming on to Barry Weiss's Israeli media, which is now CBS, which we call ZBS, to set up this fake interview where he's still trying to basically push his will on not just this administration and Trump, but on the American people as well, because he knows he's lost a ton of support from basically every demographic here, including young Republicans, and even more so with older Democrats. They have lost, Netanyahu has lost the ability to keep them on board with his agenda. That's where we're at now. So let's play. This clip is important. This is the anti-Semitism discussion, and it looks like he's being asked actual questions about this, but these are all setup questions so he can defend, again, why does he think Israel has been hurt as far as public opinion goes? And he's going to say it's actually because of jealousy, and this is where the anti-Semitism definition gets extended to. It's actually jealousy. That's why people hate Jews, and this is why Israel's getting criticized right now. We'll let him tell you for himself. Here we go.
Anti-Semitism, this vile vilification of the Jews, took a reprieve after the Holocaust. It took a reprieve. It took 80 years. You know, it wasn't fashionable to be anti-Semitic, so you didn't say these things in polite society. But it's come back. It's almost like it accompanies us throughout.
What is that about, Mr. Prime Minister?
I think...
Because I want to stop you right there, because in my career, which started in 1990 in Washington, up until very recently, it was an established fact in Congress. Established fact. The Republicans and Democrats had a default proposition favorable to Israel. Not always, not universally, but a default proposition that began with yes. That's not true anymore. That's less true than at any other time I've covered Washington. That has to be reflective of something else.
Yes, it is. Well, these are historical cycles, which
So
my
you're in a
father...
historical cycle.
Yes, we are. I mean, anti-Semitism is...
It had been flowed, yes.
Yeah, it had been flowed, but it flowed throughout our history. And the reason it, you know...
But America's not a place where things like that tend to come back.
Well, they can come back. They were there in the 1930s
Yes.
with Father Coughlin, and they
Yes.
ebbed because of the war, but it's come back. What is it? I think it's an interesting question of why this happens, and I think...
Before he answers it, he's about to answer it. I'm trying to understand if this interviewer is actually tiptoeing around and nervous and really like genuinely nervous about. I'm trying to suggest to him that there's actually something Israel's doing that's making people respond this way, or is he just giving him a setup so he can nip it in the bud? It's hard to tell what his intention is, but make no mistake, the outcome is the same regardless of the intention. The outcome is that he gets to say the thing that is a complete BS lie, and he's not going to get any pushback after he says the thing. So but the lead in, it's hard to tell if he's like, dude, like it's pretty obvious there's something else that is going on here. And it might have to do with what Israel's actually doing and the actual activities it's doing, which is murdering people and annexing their land and all that horrible stuff. That's what he's maybe alluding to, but no, Netanyahu is going to tell you why he says it is. And if he says it, that's the reason, and there's no dispute about it.
I think there's a natural human tendency between people and also between peoples, collective groups. It's called jealousy.
Oh, there it is. Jealousy. I am so jealous of a people that can parade around and murder people and broadcast it and gloat about it and kill babies and high five and not have any consequences. I'm so jealous of that. Is that what you're talking about? Is that the jealousy? I wish I could do that and get away with it like every one of you IDF mother effers can. Is that, okay. So there's a jealousy there. Huh. Interesting.
And jealousy often, if somebody is very successful, you can be appreciative of them, especially if it's, say, a very successful and strong country.
A successful country, meaning that they're good at genociding people. They're successful at the thing they set out to do, right? That's so we can be appreciative. Is that what you mean? We can be appreciative of your ability to do the thing you set out to do and succeed at it and not have any consequences for doing it and be able to gloat about it afterwards, right? And then criticize people and make it illegal for them to criticize it. Is that what you mean by successful and us appreciating that? Okay.
Then you temper your jealousy and you go to respect. But if you...
So these are the embers of envy.
I think it's part of it. I don't think it explains all of it, but I think one thing...
Well, it's the thing you said. That's the answer to the question. So it is the majority of it, or you would have said something else if it wasn't this. This is the thing you said. It was. Okay. So this is it. It's envy, right?
I can say is that there are many explanations for the phenomenon, the durability of anti-Semitism over the ages. My father was a great historian of this, and we can have a separate discussion on it.
We can have a separate discussion on it. Even though you just asked me the question, I gave you the answer I told you it was. But there's other things, but we just don't have time for it right now. We don't have time for the rest of it. So just that's going to be it. That's going to be it on that topic. Now let's move on to another topic. We're going to talk about social media, right? And this is really why I came here. I came here to impose my will on the phone in your hand. And when I say your hand, I don't just mean the viewers watching. I literally mean your hand. I'm going to effing grab your phone off of the side and show you what I can do to that phone. So this is as threatening as it can get within the interview. Go ahead. And this is Netanyahu setting this up. This is the whole point. He wants to demonstrate his iron fist, even to this 60-minute pawn of the Israeli media arm, which is now CBS, owned by Barry Weiss and controlled by Israel. He's going to show you that iron fist by picking up his cell phone, showing you what he does with it. Here it is.
It's the reputational harm to Israel almost entirely to social media, which he calls the eighth front of the war.
Because it's this is yours, right? Mm-hmm. You're not immune either, because you can penetrate this machine, you can penetrate this little instrument, and you can say about Major Garrett anything you want, and I can paint you as a monster. And if I say it often enough people will believe it.
Do you believe Israel is at risk of losing this war on that social media front? And this is particularly, I believe, important in America for younger Americans, Republican and Democrat, scrolling through images, and they would use words like barbaric in Gaza and in Lebanon.
Israel has gone to unbelievable lengths to get innocent civilians out of harm's way. We text message millions of text messages to them, make millions of phone calls to them, pamphlets, leaflets, you name it, okay? We have seen the deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States almost, I would say it correlates almost 100% with the geometric rise of social media. And that by itself is not what caused it. And I don't believe in censoring them or anything, but I'll tell you what happened. We have several countries that basically manipulated social media, and they do it in a clever way. And that's something that has hurt us badly.
Is it your belief, Mr. Prime Minister, that nothing that Israel has done, tactically or strategically, has made no mistakes, either in Gaza or the West Bank, that have, in their own way, contributed to this negative impression of Israel, whether it's on social media or someplace else?
No, of course. Look, it's war.
No mistakes. No, zero, 100%. And this is how Trump just talks too. It's everything's perfect, beautiful, the greatest. We don't do anything wrong. Everything's perfect. Yeah. And then here comes the war explanation. Oh, you guys know how war works, right?
In war, armies sometimes miss, and civilians die. And these are mistakes. These are not deliberate things that happen. Israel.
Do you apologize for those mistakes? Well, and I was doing mistakes are in air quotes, air quote mistakes. Do you apologize for those mistakes? That would be a good follow up. Maybe those schoolgirls you annihilated or blew up, double tap, triple tap. Was that 3 mistakes or 4? Because I heard in some cases there was an assessment that it could have been a quadruple tap in that case. Was that 4 mistakes, 3 mistakes, 2? How many? Do you apologize for those mistakes?
Was besieged on the media front, on the propaganda front, and we've not done well on the propaganda war.
We have not done well in the propaganda war, and this is why you have to demonstrate the power of that cell phone. This is why, and this is exactly why this part of the interview had to be aired. Now, Megyn Kelly chimed in, and this is the part that is very strange, because you would think that a situation with CBS, Barry Weiss, the entire thing is Israeli media controlled, that he could manage this whole interview the exact way he wanted to do it, manage the narrative, very easily, because you don't have any interference. You can do whatever you want in that space. But however, Megyn Kelly noticed something. She says she rips the Barry Weiss CBS interview, protecting Netanyahu by editing anti-American comments. What? Wait, I thought he could do whatever he wanted on the show, and why would there have to be any editing done? What? Yeah. Megyn Kelly says that on the Barry Weiss and CBS News after 60-minute interview with Netanyahu, it aired over the weekend. It had edits, and she argues those edits were about taking out the pieces where Netanyahu looks bad in a situation that he controlled. It would look bad. So CBS made the call to edit. Well, what is she talking about? Well, she'll get into a little more detail here. Here's Megyn Kelly.
From the last 2 sound bites, they were shortened, they were combined as if they happened back to back. With the phone. Now, they didn't include the comment about how Israel will be fighting back. They teased that they will use the same tactics to fight fire with fire on the social media front. Well, they're doing it. Okay, they're doing that. Bibi said it several times throughout the full interview, but none of that made the broadcast version. So why didn't that go in there? Why? There were also several references by Netanyahu to the Americans turning against Israel, saying that they also hate America. Oh, they do? Okay. So according to Netanyahu, if you are against Israel and its tactics militarily, you hate your own country here in America. You hate America. This is a talking point we've seen from the prominent pro-Israel media voices in the past few weeks. It seems to be like a new favorite. All of those references were cut from the broadcast version of the interview. Why? Why did Barry Weiss and her CBS cut from the interview of Netanyahu all the references by Netanyahu attacking Americans who have questions about Israel as anti-American? Is it possible they believed that might make him look bad and further alienate Americans?
Yeah, I think we're answering that question in the question that was asked. That's the answer. Yes, that's exactly right. So here's a guy who has every ability to control his entire messaging, and he has to do editing off of his own thing. That's how bad. That's how Israel got here too, by the way. It's because, and we covered this on the show a lot, it's their inability to understand the optics of the thing they actually believe. And when they speak in Hebrew, we always see that as that's always the big reveal, is what's been said in Hebrew, and then they have to kind of modify. So the modifying had to happen in real time, and that's why CBS, and of course they're going to do the editing. They have to make him look good. And they're just going to do that. So that's what ends up happening. But even the stuff that did air, you guys can see it for yourselves. It's totally insane. The suggestion that a foreign leader has to come into our space, dictating to us what our foreign policy is going to be with our money and our troops, by the way, suggesting that our military service members are going to be yet put into harm's way yet again on behest of Israel. And if you have a problem with it, you're not only anti-Semitic, but according to Megyn Kelly, the part that was left out is you're also anti-American. Wow. And then you have to cut that last part because that's a little too far. Just call us Jew haters, but you can't call us that we hate America. That's going a little too far. So that had to be edited out. So I just wanted to throw you guys that one out for a little bit. But it's good to have voices like Megyn Kelly and the others being skeptical, especially from the right. Very good to have that. So thought you guys should know.